This is part 2 of our season review. I'm here with Martin, Mike and Paul. If you haven't seen part 1, the link is in the description down there somewhere. I'm sure it'll appear. And we're going to be talking through now about individuals. Tell me, guys, one word, player of the season. I think I know who it's going to be, but we'll run through and ask anyway. Player of the season.
No brainer, innit? Aguero all day long.
Richard Wright. So,
I mean,
morale.
yeah.
Is Aguero our Messi? Has he dragged us through it this season?
Well, Aguero is our Messi, as is Silva is our Messi, aren't they? They're both equally as important in their own way.
And if we get Messi, Uzi.
Richard Wright.
Yeah, someone's got to be.
I mean, 30 goals, and he doesn't make Team of the Year.
Shocking.
It's anti-City, surely.
I think it's voted in February though, isn't it? So, and was he out at the time? I think he had a bit of an injury at that time, didn't he? So that's the only logical explanation I can come up with, because there isn't. Everything else is saying we talk about conspiracy and everything, but I won't go into that.
I think I'm going to very briefly go into that. I think that it's not a conspiracy. I think there's a London-centric media, and I think all the media are located in London. And where in London you get all the London teams, the journalists supporting London teams like Chelsea, Arsenal and United. So I think that's the reason. I think it's possibly subconscious.
Well, Harry Kane.
I think we just get overlooked.
And Harry Kane's a phenomenal player, and I'll have him at City tomorrow. But game for game, Aguero for me is on a better season. People
are also saying that Kane's got to be in it because he's younger, and I think we should consider that Kane is young, and that's fantastic, and he's got so many years ahead of him. But the Player of the Season award shouldn't worry about their age. No. It should be how good are they in that season, regardless. And so I think that's a bit of a ridiculous thing.
What it should be on is that centre-half that plays against that centre-forward, who's he more terrified of playing against, Sergio Aguero or Harry Kane? And every single centre-half in the Premier League will say Sergio Aguero every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not a science, but when it was Spurs against City, Aguero scored. Even if
Kane went a month without scoring.
Yeah, he went because he played the big teams at that time, and he went quiet. So.
Yeah, and Aguero loves a big team, doesn't he?
But I think it's no coincidence that we finished second this season. Sergio Aguero gets through that injury period again. You know, if we keep Aguero fit, I genuinely believe that it would have been much more of a bigger challenge without Sergio. We're less of a potent force. That's a fact.
Where would we have been without Aguero this season?
I think the other argument might be, you've got Golden Gloves, Joe Hart. At the end of the day, again, Golden Gloves, Golden Boot. That's what City finished with this season. No, it's a good effort, and for those two individuals who give 100% for me, week in, week out.
And Merlin. Yeah, and Merlin.
Yeah,
it's funny. The two awards that are picked objectively. So without anybody's opinion, we've won both of them.
Facts, yeah.
The only ones that are based on pure and hard facts. Is that a coincidence? Yeah. Possibly not.
Aguero is the sort of player that would play for free. He'll take the 180 grand a week pay packet, but seems to enjoy playing his football. And I think he's bought into the ethos of City, and I think that he has an allegiance.
I think he feels loved at City.
Yeah, which maybe if he went to Real Madrid, Barcelona, he'd be one of many. Yeah. Whereas at City, he's as good as those players, and there's quality around him. But he's the main man, isn't he? But now here's the thing that I think that when we won the league in 2012 is that we had a team of players who wanted to play for City. I look at the team now and I think in 15 years when those players are retired, they're sitting at home, they're flicking through the channels and they see City are playing. Are they going to actively take an interest and know about the club in the same way that former legends do now? Or do you think that after Aguero, Zabaleta, Silva, is Yaya Toure going to be interested in the club?
I've had that conversation with the lads many a time, and we still go to the club if you're ever lucky enough to get hospitality there, and you see the legends. Even Richard Edgill's walking around as an Edgill. He is a legend. He is in my eyes because he scored that penalty, didn't he, against Gillingham? So he's still a legend, and he's a top bloke as well. But as you say, how many of them will? I think Joe Hart, company. David Silva probably won't because he'll be off to the warmer climb somewhere. Aguero won't because he'll be off somewhere else, won't he? So there won't be very many in that squad that will be like that will be there week in, week out.
I can't see Kolarov doing some of his job.
I love Kolarov though. Kolarov gets a bum deal by City fans. And well, since he's had a run in the team when Clichy got injured, I think he's been superb.
We've talked about players this season who've done well, Silva, Aguero. I think it'd be silly not to mention the fact that City fans have spent 80% of the season moaning about Fernando Mangala. It's got a lot of criticism.
I mean, Mangala for me is a young player, and you know, if we go to Newcastle at home in the League Cup this season, you could see he was having a difficult game, and every player on the pitch kept passing him the ball. You know, there's a collective responsibility in the team. He's a young guy. He's coming in to a pivotal position as a centre half. You've got everybody from Rio Ferdinand saying, you know, you spent all this money on this guy, but later in this season he's come better and he's got stronger. Will he cut the mustard? It's still yet to be known to me, but he has the physical attributes to make it. So I believe in him more than I would believe in a Sami Nasri right now, because for me it's Sami Nasri at times. Whilst he's done it, I think he's an icing on the cake player. And if you were looking to point fingers this season about people who haven't done it, people say Fernando. Arguably, what was he brought in to do? To be a holding midfield? He's the octopus.
He was brought in as a Javi Garcia type player.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But
why wasn't Javi Garcia kept in as a Javi Garcia sort of player?
You wouldn't have done that. You would have kept Nigel de Jong and not Javi Garcia or anybody else. That was your point for me. Yeah. That was the mistake City made. We replaced with like, if not worse. And there's no.
Well, we've done it 3 times now, haven't we? We still haven't managed to nail that. Fernandinho. Let's give respect to him.
I don't know if Fernando's been as bad as you're saying, to be honest. I think when the season started, there was a couple of games that he had a couple of great games.
Newcastle away.
Yeah. He went off the boil for a while because the formation that they were playing at the time. And then when you look at Roma away, when him and Fernandinho played together, when Yaya wasn't there, he was absolutely exceptional. Those two as a pairing were fantastic. One of the best performances you'll have seen all season.
We said it on fan cams. You know, for me, when players get a run in the team, I think it's a huge thing. I think, you know, the pressure that's involved in the Premier League and also the standard of the Premier League means that if you've been out for 3 games and you're just wielded in for 1, it's twice as hard to actually get your natural game going. It's difficult. Mangala's got that argument for me. Fernando's got that argument. When Yaya Toure was moved out a little bit to the side in the last few games, you could see Fernandinho and Fernando had an understanding. They gave a platform for Silva to play on. And, you know, arguably, I think Fernando's not come out of it as bad as he certainly was in that period where we were losing games and we probably lost the title in that period.
Don't forget the intensity of the Portuguese league compared to the intensity of the Premier League. The chalk and cheese. So it does take a while to settle in. There's only really City where they say players have got to be up and at it straight away. Every other club where you sign a player from abroad, it's his first year, we're in transition. That's all I've heard from United for the last 2 years. We're in transition. We had Pellegrini in his first year, he won a double. So that's exactly the same transition as what United had.
Is there any player, then we'll finish with this, any player that you feel has had a bad season that has let the team down?
I think you can't say a player over the course of the season that you can single out and say he's been poor this season. It's collectively over a period of games where a player's let you down in a certain time, somebody else has let us down in another period. I can't think of any one individual that has been poor.
I'm quite proud of us as a club as well. I don't think that I don't sense so much from the majority of City fans that we're finger
I'd say Jovetic. If we're going to pick one, Jovetic. There you go.
But even that, I really don't think that we're the type of fans that are finger pointing. It's a collective. We've dropped, but we've dropped the standard. I think across the team, we've dropped the standard just down a little bit. You know, for me, disappointment, as opposed to finger pointing saying it was somebody's fault, disappointment would be for me with Sami Nasri, because I really believe a player with all the ability in the world.
Not to point any fingers.
But to be almost on that level at certain times with a Silva or have a bit of a vision.
I'm disappointed with Edin as well. I thought he's not performed to the levels that he should do, because he's a out-and-out goal scorer and he should do better.
But he's another one for me, Edin Dzeko, that without looking back, but he's a point that I always think, you know, he's weighed in with big goals in the past. And so therefore, you know, you cut him some slack. But I think so. But I think, again, when we talked about Mangala and a little bit of running the team, Edin Dzeko is not a player that you can just bring in for half a game and hope that he's going to snatch a goal. He needs 3 or 4 games to get into some sort of pattern. He won't get it at City now for me. He definitely won't. I think that now Bonnie's come, I don't see any future for Edin Dzeko at Man City, if I'm honest.
This has been part 2 of Blue Moon Rising TV's season review. Make sure you check out episode 1 and keep an eye out for episode 3. We're going to be looking at the future, what next season can bring and what this season means for the future.
This is Ricky the Hitman Hatton. Subscribe to Blue Moon Rising TV for a knockout time.